Dust Fall Ridge wasn't a place for softness. It was a place where the wind carved men into something harder, or buried them under it. The saloon smelled of whiskey, sweat, and long winters that never really ended. Men filled the room, loud, restless, half-drunk on noise and loneliness. There were no women inside, not anymore. So when Mei Lin stepped through that door, the room changed. Not quiet, but different. Eyes turned, not curious, hungry, measuring. Some looked at her face, most didn't. Her dress was simple, travel-worn. Dust clung to the hem like it belonged there. Her hands were folded tightly in front of her, knuckles pale, trying not to tremble. She didn't understand every word they said, but she understood tone. Men always spoke the same way when they thought a woman had nowhere else to go. Male bride. Too quiet. Too small. Might still be worth something. Mei Lin kept her eyes down, not from shame, from survival. Because back home, looking at the wrong man the wrong way could cost more than pride. The noise didn't stop, but it shifted. Men moved without being told, just enough to clear a path. That was how power worked here. No words, just space. Cole Mercer stepped inside, coat dark with road dust, jaw tight, eyes colder than the mountain wind. He didn't look around the room, didn't greet anyone, didn't care who was watching, until he saw her. That was the only moment he stopped, just for a second. But in a place like this, a second meant something. His gaze moved over her slowly, not like the others, not hungry, not careless, worse, calculating, like a man trying to decide if something fragile was useful or dangerous. "You're the one they sent?" His voice was low, flat, not unkind, but not kind either. Mei Lin lifted her eyes, just enough to meet his, for a fraction of a second, then lowered them again. She nodded, once. That was all. No smile, no plea, no explanation. The room watched closely now, because everyone here knew something she didn't. Cole Mercer didn't take a wife, didn't bring women home, didn't keep anything he couldn't walk away from. And yet, he stepped closer, close enough now to see the fine tremble in her hands, the dust on her sleeves, the way she stood perfectly still, like running wasn't an option anymore. "Look at me." She hesitated, just long enough to make the entire room lean in. Then slowly she did. And for the first time, something in Cole Mercer's expression shifted. Not warmth yet, but something that made him stop thinking about the town, the deal, the arrangement, and start thinking about her. No one spoke first. Not the men, not her, not even him. Because this was the moment everything decided itself. She won't last a week. He won't keep her that long, unless she's worth keeping. Cole didn't look at them, didn't need to. He already knew what they were thinking, what they always thought. Out here, a woman alone was a problem. A woman like her was something else entirely. "You know why you're here?" he asked. Flat, direct, no softness to catch on to. Mei Lin understood enough. Not every word, but enough. She nodded again, small, controlled. "Wife," she said. Her accent was light, but clear. A few men smirked. One laughed under his breath. Cole's jaw tightened. Not at her, at them, but he said nothing. "Not a wife," he corrected. "A name. Paper. Law. That's all." The words should have sounded cruel. Maybe they did. But they were honest. And honesty was rarer than kindness in Dustfall Ridge. Mei Lin didn't react. Not the way they expected. No flinch, no confusion, no plea. She had crossed an ocean, buried a life she would never return to. Whatever this was, it was still better than being sent back, or worse, being nowhere at all. She reached into her sleeve slowly, careful, measured. Even Cole's hand moved slightly, not to draw, but close enough to matter. She pulled out a folded paper, worn, creased, handled too many times. She held it out to him, both hands, respectfully. Cole didn't take it right away. He looked at her first, at the way her fingers trembled, not from fear, from holding steady too long. Then he took the paper, opened it, eyes scanning quickly. Mail order contract. Name, age, origin. A transaction written in careful ink. He exhaled once through his nose, short, almost a laugh, but not quite. "You understand what this means?" Mei Lin met his eyes again, longer this time, long enough to feel something shift in the room. "I stay," she said, "and I work." Not love, not promise, not protection. Work. Something flickered in Cole's gaze again, this time clearer. Recognition. He had seen women beg before, seen them bargain, cry, lie, break. She did none of those things. That made her harder to place, and harder to control. 3 months, he said finally. "After that, you can leave." "Or I can," he almost added, but didn't. The room shifted again, expectation building, because now this was real. "Mercer's taking her. Didn't think I'd see the day." Cole folded the paper once, then again, slower than necessary, thinking. "You cook?" Mei Lin shook her head slightly. "Some." "You clean?" A nod. "You run?" The question landed differently, not loud, but heavy. Mei Lin looked at him, directly this time. No hesitation. "No." Something in Cole's expression finally almost softened. Not kindness, not yet, but approval. The kind a man gives when something doesn't break under pressure. Good. Then he turned, just like that. Decision made. Get your things. We leave before dark. No laughter this time, only watching, because everyone in that room understood one thing. This wasn't a marriage. It was a gamble, and no one knew yet who was risking more. The town disappeared faster than Mei Lin expected. Noise faded first, then voices, then the feeling of being watched. What remained was silence, the kind that pressed in from all sides. Cole didn't speak, not when they left the saloon, not when he helped her onto the wagon, not even when the road narrowed into nothing more than dust and rock. He drove, that was all. Mei Lin sat beside him, hands folded again, same position, same stillness. But this time there was no crowd to hide inside, no noise to disappear into, only him and the space between them. She could feel his presence without looking, heavy, controlled, like something that didn't need to move to be dangerous. "You don't talk much," he said finally. Not a question, an observation. Mei Lin turned her head slightly, not fully, just enough. "I listen." That earned a glance. Brief, but real. Cole looked ahead again, but something in his jaw shifted, like he was reconsidering something. Most people filled silence, with words, with noise, with lies. She didn't. That made the silence different. The cabin appeared late, hidden between rock and pine, not built to be seen, built to last. It sat alone, no neighboring lights, no road beyond it, just land and whatever chose to survive on it. Mei Lin stepped down slowly, boots touching ground that didn't feel like it belonged to anyone. She looked at the cabin, then at the mountains behind it, then at nothing at all. No escape routes, no witnesses, no second chances. Cole watched her, not openly, from the side, waiting to see if she would react, hesitate, step back, run. She didn't. She picked up her small bundle and walked toward the door, without being told. Inside, the air was warmer, but not softer. Everything had its place. Tools, wood, weapons. Nothing unnecessary, nothing decorative, nothing gentle. Mei Lin stepped inside carefully, like entering someone else's mind. Cole followed behind her, closed the door. The sound echoed louder than it should have. Now it was real. No town, no witnesses, no rules but his. "You sleep there." He nodded toward a small bed near the wall. Simple, clean, separate. "I don't share space I don't trust." Not cruel, just fact. Mei Lin looked at the bed, then at him. "I understand." And she did, more than he expected, because trust was something she didn't have either. She moved toward the bed, set her things down, hands still steady, back straight. no questions, no complaints, no fear that she showed. Cole watched her longer this time, not measuring anymore, studying, trying to understand what kind of woman walks into a place like this and doesn't break. "You eat?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes." "I cook." A small lie. Or maybe not. It didn't matter. Cole turned away first, moved to the stove, started preparing something simple, efficient, controlled. But every now and then his eyes flicked back, just for a second, because something about her, the silence, the stillness, the way she didn't try to be anything, didn't make things easier. It made them harder. Outside, the wind pressed against the cabin walls, testing them. Inside, something else was being tested. Not strength, not survival, but distance, and how long it could actually last. Night came early in the mountains. The light didn't fade. It was taken. Mei Lin sat near the fire, hands resting in her lap, watching the flames like they might say something. Cole stayed on the other side of the room, sharpening a knife, slow, deliberate. The sound carried, too clear, too steady. It wasn't a threat, but it wasn't comforting either. "You always carry that?" she asked. Cole didn't look up. "Yes." Another scrape. Then, "I always need it." That answer wasn't about wood or rope. Mei Lin understood that much. Silence returned, but now it had weight. "You had trouble before," she said, not asking, stating. The knife stopped, just for a second, then continued. "Everyone does." But his voice dropped lower, tighter, like a door half closed. Mei Lin didn't push, didn't ask again. She had learned long ago questions could cost more than answers. The fire shifted. A log collapsed inward. For a moment, light flickered across his face, and she saw it. Not clearly, but enough. Scars. Not all from work, not all from accidents. Some from something that fought back. A sound outside. Both of them moved at the same time. Cole was already on his feet, knife gone, rifle in hand. Stay. Not loud, but absolute. Mei Lin didn't argue, didn't freeze either. She stood slowly, moved just enough to see. Another sound, closer now. Cole stepped toward the door, every movement measured, like he had done this before, too many times. He opened it, just enough. Cold air rushed in, silence outside, then a low growl. Wolf. Not alone. Pack. Cole didn't hesitate. He stepped out, closed the door behind him. Mei Lin stood still, heart steady, but faster than before. She moved closer to the door, not opening it, just listening. The sound cracked through the night, echoed across the mountain. Then another, closer. Silence again. Longer this time. Too long. Her hand lifted, rested against the door. Not fear, something else. The door opened suddenly. Cole stepped back inside. Snow clung to his coat, breath visible, rifle still in hand. "You should have stayed back," he said. Not angry, but sharp. Mei Lin didn't move away. She was closer now than before, closer than he expected. "I did." A beat, then, "You came back." Something shifted in his expression. Small, real. "Of course I did." The answer came too fast, too natural, like there had never been another option. They stood there, too close, closer than before. Neither of them stepped back. For a moment, the distance between them didn't exist. Then Cole turned away first, set the rifle down, like breaking something invisible. "Lock the door tonight," he said. "There are worse things than wolves out here." He didn't explain, didn't need to. Mei Lin watched him, longer this time, because she was beginning to understand the danger here wasn't just outside the cabin. The storm didn't come that night, but the air felt like it was waiting. Mei Lin lay awake on the narrow bed, eyes open, listening. Not for wolves, not for wind, for him. The cabin was still, too still. She sat up slowly, pulled the blanket around her shoulders, bare feet against cold wood. The fire had burned low, only embers now. Cole wasn't in his chair. The door was slightly open, cold slipping through the gap. She moved toward it, careful. Outside, the world was silver, moonlight over snow, sharp, empty. Cole stood near the edge of the clearing, back to her, still as the trees. He hadn't heard her. Or maybe he had, and didn't turn. "You don't sleep," she said. Cole didn't move. No. A long breath left him, white in the air. "I used to." Mei Lin stepped closer, snow cold under her feet, but she didn't stop. "You're afraid of something," she said, not a question. Cole laughed once, low, without humor. "Everyone is." "That's not the same." That made him turn, finally. His eyes found hers, in the dark. Closer now, too close to pretend distance. "I buried someone here," he said. Just like that. No warning, no softness. Mei Lin didn't flinch, didn't look away. "My wife." The word sat heavy between them. She didn't belong here either. A breath, rougher now. The winter took her. Not sickness, not time. The mountain. Mei Lin felt it then. Not pity, recognition. "You stayed," she said. Cole's jaw tightened. "I didn't know where else to go." The truth was simple, ugly, honest. Neither of them spoke for a while. Two people standing in the same cold, carrying different ghosts. "You can send me away in the spring," Mei Lin said, her voice calm, certain. "I won't be a burden." Cole looked at her, longer this time, like measuring something he couldn't name. "You're not a burden." The words came slower, heavier, more dangerous. "That's the problem." Something in her chest tightened. Not pain, not fear, something warmer, more fragile. "You think kindness is dangerous," she said. Cole didn't answer, didn't need to. Mei Lin stepped closer, one more step, closing the space completely. "You asked for a wife," she said. Cole's eyes flickered, just once. "I asked for a name on paper. And now?" That question stayed between them, longer than it should. Cole looked at her like a man standing at the edge of something, something he knew could break him. Again. "I don't ask for things I can lose." Mei Lin held his gaze, didn't step back, didn't soften. "You already did." That landed, harder than anything else. For a moment, the mountain held its breath. Cole reached out, stopped, halfway, like even that was too much. Then slowly he let his hand fall, not touching her, choosing not to, but not stepping away either. That was the line, and both of them knew it. Behind them, the cabin waited, warm, small, real. Ahead, winter, long, unforgiving. Mei Lin turned first, walked back toward the door, then paused, looked over her shoulder. "I will stay through the winter," she said, not asking, not offering, deciding. Cole watched her, something in his face shifting again, deeper this time. "Then stay," he said, simple, but not empty. She stepped inside, the door closing behind her. Cole remained outside, for a moment longer, alone. Then he turned, walked back toward the light. Because for the first time in years, the cabin didn't feel like a place he was hiding in. It felt like something he might lose again. And that scared him more than the mountain ever had.